What's going on, everyone? Dom from the Game Looters here, and today we've got an update on the Nintendo Switch 2 price drama, and buckle in because this one's a doozy. So when this was announced, everyone just naturally assumed the high price of the Nintendo Switch 2 launching at $449 was because of the tariffs. Well, Nintendo, in an interview with The Verge, actually said, nah, that ain't the reason at all. Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser gave us the official tea on why you're being charged $100 more than Japan for the same console. Oh, you didn't know that? Well, let me tell you this. The console in Japan is a lot cheaper. Let's break it all down because the more you hear the reasoning, the more you're going to side-eye your wallet, honestly. So, the skivvy. The Switch 2 is dropping this June at $449 USD. In Japan, though, this same console is launching at 49,800 yen, which if you do the conversion, translates to about $340. Yep, we're paying over $100 more for the same console. So what are we getting different than Japan outside of being able to just play games globally everywhere? That kind of tells me that the console is worth a lot less than what they're charging for. At first, it kind of makes sense, right? We assumed it was because of Trump's new rounds of tariffs, so the price is going up. It makes sense, right? Japan gets something less, we get something a little bit more, we have to pay that tariff tax. Well, it was announced literally the same day as Nintendo's event with the whole price stuff and the tariffs. So it was bad timing, but you can kind of, put two and two together and it made sense. But here's what Doug Bowser actually told The Verge during their interview when asked if tariffs influenced the price. Quote, "Put the April 2nd announcement aside. Any previous tariffs were not factored into the price itself." Excuse me? What? So if it's not tariffs, what is it? Is the trade war? Is it supply chain issues? Why is the price so high? Well, according to Bowser, it's because of the value packed into the device. Of course, he gave us that very corporate answer. Quote, "We want to make sure that this is a device that is approachable, that consumers will see as part of their overall entertainment experiences, and will understand that it has longevity to it," Bowser explained. Translation, we packed in more stuff, so just trust us. And yes, he also listed out all the stuff that they put in here to justify it. A larger LCD screen that I note is not OLED, which sucks. More powerful internals. Well, we hope that it would be, right? Redesigned Joy-Con 2, now bulkier and allegedly more durable. But they also do not include some core features like the Hall feature, which we were all hoping for, which would give the sticks longevity. They do not come with that, so Nintendo's saying, well, you might have a little drifty drift. And lastly, he noted Game Chat, the built-in social system that lets you chat while playing. Although it is very cool, it's just them catching up to their competitors. Here's the thing, none of these features though are $100 better in the US as they are in Japan. Is the American screen bigger? No. Do US Joy-Cons rumble harder? No. Is your Game Chat pre-installed with the extra sass? Well, maybe. Well, if not, something's just not adding up, right? And it's not just the console. Games are now more expensive too. Of course, we're going to look at the most expensive thing that they announced, which is Mario Kart World at $79.99 MSRP. Of course, that's probably not going to be the true price for all games, but at least we have one example of where it is. And even with now the Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which is just a glorified tutorial game meant to show off the system features, that's not free either. That's not even a pack-in. It's $9.99. Bowser defends this by saying, and I quote, "As this game was being developed, what's been packed into it is a depth of minigame experiences. They're very deep, they're very repeatable," end quote. So instead of a fun pack-in like Wii Sports or Astro's Playroom, Nintendo's like, pay us $10 to learn how to use your system. You're welcome, huh? Bowser also gave us this kind of vague reasoning when asked if the old Switch lineup influenced the Switch 2 pricing. I quote, "You want to consider pricing relative to the Switch since we still have that in distribution. But really the consideration was driven more by what is part of this particular gaming experience," end quote by Bowser. That's corporate speak for, this is the new hotness, we know you want it, so we're going to price it like it's a luxury handbag. Look, Nintendo is still selling the base Switch, the OLED, and the Switch Lite, and they want the Switch 2 to sit above all of them. That's totally fair. But that doesn't explain the region pricing mess. It doesn't explain why Japan gets it cheaper. And it definitely doesn't explain how tariffs aren't a factor. Yet, pre-orders were delayed to, quote, assess the impact of tariffs, end quote. Bowser again said, quote, "This news is fresh, and like many companies right now, we are actively assessing what the impact may be," end quote. Okay, so Doug, the tariffs didn't influence the original pricing, but you're still worried that they might change again later? Okay, we got it. So let's be real for a second. This is Nintendo going all in on premium pricing. They know fans will line up. They know the hype is real. And that's totally fine because it legitimately is. I'll be there day one, but it doesn't mean that we have to just accept it with our hands and wallets up. And they know most of us, despite this frustration, are still going to grab it. But the most of us can change quite a bit. But I will tell you, watching a $340 console go for $449 in your region and being told it's not the tariffs, that stings a lot. Like an ultra ball to the face when you're already out of potions. It's a big one. So now I want to hear from you guys. Are you still locked in on Switch 2 day one? Are you holding out for a price drop or at least more price transparency, to really make your decision? Because it's a lot of money, especially if you have a family and you have 1, 2, 3 kids. Your Christmas could be very expensive. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Of course, smash that like button if you appreciate the real talk about these subjects. And make sure to subscribe for all things Nintendo Switch 2, especially as this story develops more. I've been Don from the Game Looters, and I'm currently pricing flights to Japan. Just kidding. That thing's region locked over there. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.